Are you frenzied? We have another, everybody loves, like, can you do another worst wife ever game show? They're so fun. So we have one for you today. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we are talking about being too frenzied. So if you are frenzied in your life and you want answers, how to be unfrenzied, how to have connection, how to be closer in your relationship when you are frenzied and life is frenzied, stay tuned. Coming right up. Two pom-poms. I also need two. So we are frenzied. This is our comedy team, and here's how the game is played. Okay, so first of all, actually, let's introduce yourself. Julie, why don't you go first?
Hi, I am Julie Mann.
Taylor Loeb.
Piggy Rabbit.
And Jossie.
Jocelyn Miller.
So here's how the game rules. We're talking about being frenzied, and all of the examples we have are when you're frenzied and your husband walks in the room and drives you even more frenzied, okay? So those are all the examples, but in general, I'm going to be giving lots of tips and techniques of how to tone down your life and not be so frenzied. I'm going to start with the first scenario. Everybody has their shakers. Shake, guys. Ready? Okay, here we go. Jocelyn, you have a fake shaker. We can tell. You think we don't notice that, but it's pretty. It's good. Pink with fringes. There we go. Okay, here's the first scenario. It's a crazy morning, and you're getting everyone out the door on time, hopefully including yourself. It's frenzied, right? This is frenzied. You hand everyone their lunch, and your husband walks up to you and says, oh, you've got everything done. You're about to walk out the door. Oh, can I also have a sandwich too? What do? Ladies, go.
Say sure. And for the next 2 weeks, I pack him lunches. It's a little sandwich cut out with the crusts off, and it's one tiny little bar, and it's a tiny little apple juice meant for like a 3-year-old toddler. And see if, I made him lunch. So hopefully he's happy with it.
There you go. So a little bit less than what he can eat. Okay,
he wants to be a kid. He can be a kid.
There you go. Who else? Okay, go ahead, Taylor.
I would just remind him that he has 2 hands too.
He's got 2 hands too. Okay. What else? There's the worst wife ever. The ladies here are trying to be the worst possible wife they possibly can be. Okay. And then that way we can learn how to be the best wife. Okay, go.
So in my frenziness, I would be like, throw microwave popcorn in the microwave and send him with popcorn just for lunch.
That's it. Thank you. Okay, good. Julie.
I would say, you want a sandwich? And then I'd open up the lunch boxes and I'd give it to him. And then I'd say, see, now daddy took your food and you don't have any lunch.
Ooh, ouch. Ouch. Okay. Taylor, you're somehow as you're going forward about their son. Can you fix it in any way? Okay, let's go. Let's start with the judges. Sarit, you're up first.
Oh, wow. Okay. So Siggy, I was really into your thing. I was going with you. I love the little cutout mini sandwiches and packing his lunch that way. That was definitely going to teach him, I think, some lesson. But I have to say, Julie, you you took the cake with having the kids now think that their dad stole their lunch. That's perfect. I love it.
Worst wife ever. Okay, fine. Okay, Ilana.
I agree. Julie took the sandwich on this one.
Very good. So funny. You're so funny.
Wonderful.
Okay, good. Rachel.
I'm going to go with Julie also.
Wow, vindictive.
Yeah, I like the nastiness.
Okay, there we go. Okay, now you guys have seen the bar. You see what it is to be the worst wife ever. Okay, Ilana, you're keeping track of who wins, because I remember when we did a whole game show, nobody could remember who got what. Okay, fine. So Julie, you won that round. You are the worst wife ever. Okay, so now here's the thing about that situation is, and by the way, a lot of the comments are going to be about communication. We know that's like Leah Richeimer's, that's like my thing, whatever, is communication, and it's pre-communication. So in a situation like this, if this is the first time in your life your husband has ever done something like that, that's one thing. Probably not, right, ladies? Okay. There's probably like a habit, like last minute doing stuff. Okay. So here's the thing. When this type of thing happens, if you pre-communicate and you have a conversation beforehand and you say, let's say he did this yesterday, and then it's the next day and you're calm and he's fed and you're rested, if that ever happens in a frenzied life. But anyway, you have that going and you sit down and you say, listen, when you throw a curveball like that me last minute, it's really hard for me. And I don't know how, what do you think? And put it in his lap. Say, what do you think could be done that would have made that better scenario? And I'll say, well, I needed lunch. I'm like, do you think it might have been better if you had told me that morning, the night before? Do you think it could have been if you had written me a little note saying, oh, by the way, when you make the kids lunch, can you also make me one? Do you think it was fair? How do you think it felt to me last minute like that when I'm racing out the door first of all, I had to say no, like most case scenario, you're going to say no on a situation like that. So I feel bad. Then I go to work and I'm feeling like I'm not a good wife when it was an unreasonable demand in the first place. And then you have a conversation. I'm saying it much more harsh than you probably should say it to your husband. You have to tone it down and be a little bit more is that a right word? Ameliorating?
Yeah.
Something. They're nodding. I guess that
I
was it.
promise I thought you were going to say Amelia Bedelia. I'm sorry.
No, then she put the chicken and tie it up. Okay, never mind. So anyway, that's so cute. So it's you have to say it in a soft, kind way that he'll be able to hear you, plan it well. If you're the kind of person who just shouts everything, don't go there. Just write him a letter. If you're a shouty person, start writing letters. Text sometimes can be too short and they're always the wrong timing. So write a letter just a letter. A letter is where you type something. You start, dear so-and-so. Do people know what letters are anymore? Anyway, hello. But anyway, okay. So write him a letter or write it out and then hand it to him or talk it to him in a way that you're not shouting it to him. You will hopefully be able to see good results. We'll get more into this. Let's go to the next scenario. Everybody ready? Julie, you're the worst wife ever. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the next one. Ready, guys? No, you have to nod so I know you're ready. Everybody ready? Okay, fine. You're trying to pay the insurance bill on the phone and you're on one of those horribly annoying things that you press 2 and put, the prompts, and it's like you're talking to a robot. And your husband keeps talking to you and asking you things and asking you a question, and he keeps voice activating the system and driving you insane. Okay. So you're sitting there, you're trying, and now you've hung up. Now you dialed the insurance company and you told them, okay, stop. I'm busy. I'm on a voice prompt robot. You get back on the phone, you call him, you're calling in and yes, no. I said, no. Okay. And you're yelling at this lady or man or whatever. And your husband keeps doing it. What do? Go. Okay. Jocelyn. I said Jocelyn. Yeah.
I cancel his insurance. I cancel his.
Okay, good. Who's next? Okay, go ahead, Siggy.
I feel like that screws me over because then if something, God forbid, happens to him, I don't get the money. So rather than canceling, not to get morbid, but rather than canceling his life insurance, I assign a new list of chores of things we do, and he has to do all the bureaucratic calling, annoying numbers. He's the man of the house, so he can take care of that. I'll happily be in the kitchen cooking dinner.
There you go. Okay, you heard it here first. Julie.
I'm going to go into a room where no one will bother me, which is our bedroom, and I'm going to lock the door, and I'm going to keep it locked until I feel like opening it again.
Wow. With the phone doing the insurance call or just
during the call? And
over?
then, I might need to take some me time to really decompress after that really arduous experience waiting on hold and listening to that music for like half an hour.
Okay. Got it. Okay, Taylor, you're up.
I am just going to start screaming, not at the person on the phone, just at him. I'm just going to start screaming. And then every time the music comes on, I'm just going to put it on speakerphone.
There you go. Okay. Very good. Okay, Alana, you're up. Judge.
Oh, let's see here. I think I'm going to go with Taylor, because why should she have to be the only one who has to listen to the music over there? And then on top of that, he has to listen to her yelling. I think that qualifies as worst wife over there.
The worst wife ever. Okay, good. Okay, Rachel, what's your thoughts on this?
Okay, so I'm going to go with Siggy, but I am going to change it up a little bit. He's got to do all the bureaucratic work from now on. But she doesn't have to happily cook dinner, He has to do that too. But it's Siggy.
Okay, we got it. Okay, we got one for Taylor, one for Siggy, right? Am I doing it right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, Sarit, you're on.
Okay, so I have to say, I have to give just a little props to Jocelyn's, I mean, I was so into her, like, cancel the insurance. I'm totally going to use that. I'm running around and doing something. I'm going to use it for something. Make your own dinner. Make your own dinner. I'm totally using that. Jocelyn, it's my thing now. But no, I do have to go with Taylor, because I really do like the fact that I think every time he asks her something, to scream it, the answer, like, yes, honey, I would love to get you that. What would you like? And then letting him hear the music. I think it's great.
There you go. Okay, Taylor, worst wife ever. You won that round. Yay. Okay. So here's if that happens is when you're in the middle of the thing, here's the best wife ever or whatever. There could be a lot of better things, but anyway, here's how to handle that situation. So he keeps interrupting the prompt or whatever, and then again, you doing it a second time. What you could have done, turn off the phone and say, is there something you need from me right now, or would you rather me do the insurance? Simple. Just whenever you are in that rage stage and you are about to blast and you're just so frustrated and frenzied. Okay. Right. By the way, I said to my husband, I said, do you really believe I'm doing a show on how to not be frenzied? He's like, oh, good luck with that, dear. Like, you should really be teaching that. Anyway, so we're partners. We're growing in this together. But in any case, if you were to do that, when you are in that stage where a rage stage and you're just about to bust, someone's got their coffee, but it's very nice, but turn your mute on. When you're in the rage stage, here's what you do. You just stop, freeze, and ask a kind question. Now, when you say, would you rather me listen to you or would you rather me do the insurance? It is kind-ish, but it's more like, you know what I'm saying? It's got that little edge to it. That's okay. He'll get the point that, like, what do you want from me? What if the shoe was on the other foot, what would you want? Like that. Clear? Questions? Clear? Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, here's the next. Oh, by the way, ladies, when you can type in questions right now as we speak, and Sarit will get them. Do you have something already? Oh, she's not.
No. They can also type in scenarios.
They can you can type in your own scenario of something else you think that your husband. So if you're on Torah Anytime, start typing Facebook, Instagram, Torah Anytime's Facebook, type them in. Okay, we do scenarios. Okay, you guys ready for the next one? Next scenario? Okay. It's homework hour. You're racing back and forth, helping with a science project, helping with a math sheet. Your husband walks in and hands you the phone and says, here, my parents are on the phone. They want to talk to you. Here it is. What do you do? Ladies, go ahead. Siggy.
I take the phone and I say, it's so nice of you to call and offer to do homework with the kids for the rest of this month. Saba and Safta are going to be your new homework helpers, and I'm off duty and I'm going to go shopping.
Okay, fine. Okay, who else? Okay, good, Julie.
Well, I take the call too, and I start crying because I'm just so happy to have an ear and to hear something that isn't my children screaming for me. And I just cry and I cry and I cry.
Poor Bubala. Okay, who's next? Okay, Taylor.
I get on the phone and walk out of the room where I was helping the kids with the homework and say, oh, honey, thank you so much for helping. And go in there and just have like an hour-long talk with his parents about things I want to talk about that they have nothing to do with what he wants to talk about. And then leave him with the homework for the rest of the night and just act like nothing happened.
Okay. Woo! So these guys are getting good, huh? Okay, Jocelyn.
I would be like, honey, it's so good you're home because you were valedictorian and you passed all of your classes in AP. Good luck. I'm going to go call your parents. Actually, I don't even want to talk to them. I want to go meet them for dinner. So good luck with everything tonight. Have a good night. Bye.
Okay. All righty. There we go. All right, Sarit, you're up first.
Okay, so I have to say, Taylor, I was going with you, but Jossie took yours and just like stepped it up a notch. I mean, going out with the in-laws for dinner and, and she also made it really cool because she sort of manipulated him by saying how he was a valedictorian and she was, giving all these accolades. And so, what is he supposed to say after she does that?
Like,
And
I'm
she walks
stupid.
out?
I don't really, I can't do it.
Exactly. So she really, really doesn't give him a choice on that one. I love it.
Okay, Rachel, you're up. Judge Rachel.
Okay, all right. So I like Julie's with the crying, but I think it's too much effort to start crying. But I really like that. I think it was really cute. But I'm gonna have to give it to Taylor because she just walked right out and was. I like her spitefulness. She just turned around to her husband and switched jobs, and that was that. And she's a lady who gets things done.
Awesome. Okay, fine. Go ahead, Ilana.
I'm gonna have to go with Jocelyn on this one. It was like the perfect combination of manipulation and vengefulness. That was just really got it there.
Okay. Jossie,
self-care.
huh? What'd you say?
Even threw in self-care with going out to dinner.
There you go.
Yeah, and by the way, Leora Luhome says, "Go Jocelyn, love your answers" on Instagram.
Oh, yay.
I guess Jocelyn got the vote on Instagram also.
There we go. Okay, fine. And you're marking them all down, right, Ilana? Okay, so here, for that situation, when he hands the phone and you've got to like your rage stage, right? You're just like, are you joking? Like whatever. And your in-laws come on the line. So this can be handled in any number of ways. Probably when you're telling your in-laws, say, "Oh, I am so happy to hear from you. I love to talk to you right now. I'm doing homework. I'm sorry, it just ain't gonna work." I mean, obviously, if they're calling from overseas and there's no other time and the time differences and whatever, so I get it. You might have to drop everything, but the best possible thing is to just say, "Now's not a good time. I'm so sorry." And then when you hang up, help with the kids with the homework. And then at a later time, again, when you're both fed and rested, so there's no blow up, say, please be a little bit more, my worst time of the day, or one of my hardest times of the day is homework hour. Please have a little bit more consideration. And what's the word, like not compassion, but like, pity. have pity on me, like it's such a hard time. And he said, and he might say, "Oh, well, that's when they called. What am I going to do? Tell them it's not a good time?" I'm like, yeah, you gotta have my back, guy. Enlist and enroll your husband in having your back in that situation and hopping. Now, he may not get it forever, he may not, whatever, and you might have to always be doing a patch job, because a patch job is telling your in-laws, "Oh, sorry," and then they're mad at you. They think it's your fault. So then you could have another conversation with your mother-in-law at another time. You call her the next day and say, "Hi, Mom, mother-in-law, whatever you call her, Betsy, whatever. I just want you to know I'm so sorry last night. I don't know why, that timing at homework is so tough. And I don't know why it always seems to coincide. You call when I'm like frenzied or when it's a hard time for me. But I hope you'll understand. I'm trying to take care of your grandkids," something like that. Make a connection with her. Instead of making it have something that tears you and your husband apart and tearing you and the in-laws apart, make it a point where they understand you and they get you, and you can explain it in a way that they can hear it. Hopefully, if they're nice people, that'll work. If they're not nice people, you're not going to please them anyhow, but you have to take care of yourself. Okay, good. Any questions, thoughts, points? Nothing. Next. Okay, scenario. Ready? You guys ready? Next scenario. Everyone's at the table. The kids are hungry and fighting, and it's a total mess. Your husband is just sitting there. He's looking at his phone, ignoring the fighting that's going on, and he's waiting to be served his food. What do you do? Go ahead, Taylor.
There's only one answer: food fight.
Okay, food fight. Got it. Okay, fine. Who else? Dun, dun, dun. This is a hard one, I guess. Okay, go ahead.
On his phone, I pick it up and then I write some really, text, just a very angry text, just saying, "Food is in the kitchen whenever you're hungry." And then I proceed with my meal.
Wow. Okay. Julie.
Well, I actually call his phone from our phone, and then I start yelling that there is yelling happening at the table. Can he not hear that? And if he can't hear that, can he hear my yelling on the phone to him right now in the middle of the yelling?
Okay.
And hopefully that communicates that he needs to step up
to the mat. Okay, we're there. Go ahead, Jocelyn.
Well, so I serve the kids their dinner. They're already eating. And I text him later that his food is still in the oven and it's on broil and high. So it might be a little bit toasty, but enjoy.
Fine. Okay. God, judges. Let's go, Ilana.
Oh boy, this is a hard one. I mean, maybe it's just the little kid in me that the food fight appeals to.
Ilana, I was going to say that also, but you know who's cleaning up that food fight, Ilana? Think about that. Who's cleaning up that food fight?
Okay, no influencing the judges. Let her make her judgment.
I'm sorry, I just had to
You
touch
make
her.
a point,
Sorry,
you make a
Liam.
point, but some things are really worth it. I have to say.
Okay, so Taylor gets the food fight from Ilana.
No, Siggy was food fight, no? Or was it Taylor?
No, it was Taylor.
Taylor. Okay, Rachel, go ahead. What's your vote?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. It's food fight. But
Okay.
Taylor, I want to know more details about the food fight. And Sarit, he's cleaning it up.
There you go. Okay, fine. You know what? I love the
Oh,
way.
you're my hero.
Don't you love the way that she says Taylor? It's
Yeah, Taylor.
so beautiful.
Taylor.
Something so, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. She doesn't know what we're talking about. It's
yeah.
really Taylor, Taylor, or whatever she calls it,
Taylor.
Taylor. I love that.
Taylor.
It's so-
I
okay,
like
so-
Taylor's also. I like food fight, and that was my initial, like my gut. But then I was thinking about like I food wasting. I don't know. I don't like that. And then I'm gonna have to clean it because he's never gonna do a good enough job. And there's gonna be food in different crevices and whatever. Not for me. Those days are done.
Okay, sorry.
But I have to say that it was a hard toss-up between Julia and Jocelyn. But I'm going to go with Julia. I like calling him on his phone and screaming away and seeing if he actually hears that because,
Nick, see if
I
it
like that.
registers.
Going with Julia.
Right. Fantastic. Okay, fine. So that goes to Taylor. Taylor, you're that. I'm doing it like is it New York? I don't know. Okay, Taylor, you're the worst wife ever for that round. Yay! Okay, so write that down, Ilana. Okay, now here's the thing. In a situation like this is where you use the tried and true time out. So the kids are fighting, everyone's screaming, you're about to, and your husband's just sitting there, is you just quietly go and you tap him on the shoulder and you call him into the other room and say, I've had a pretty challenging day. I know you did also, but can you just be a little bit more helpful? Can you calm the kids down? Can you help them get this table set? Can you, whatever, just one little, make one request, two requests very gently. You might have to do this every day. This is not like, oh, now he'll get it and he'll be with the program. No, he's in his own little world on his phone, will do whatever he's doing. So this is just the tap on the shoulder trick. Okay. And you do it very quietly. You do it so that you're not calling him into the principal's office where your kids are seeing that you are treating your husband disrespectfully. You have to do this in a way, even if you say, oh, I wanted to show you something I bought for today or whatever. Or I show you something I saw today or something on my phone or something. So they think you're having a secret conversation that's a lovely conversation rather than the kids thinking you're the principal who's getting their father in trouble. That's horrible. You want to do it in a way that that gives the impression to them that you guys are a team and you're a unit and you have your things that you share that are private. They don't have to know that you're going to bring him into the other room and chastise him. Okay. Or ask him to be a participant. Okay. That's it. Okay. I want to actually go through a couple of points on being frenzied in general. These are things that probably everybody knows, but at least it's good to have them all in one place. So if you are frenzied, you can go back to this spot. It's about halfway through the show or something like that. And you can say, oh, what were those frenzied tips? I'm going to give them to you right now. So any activity that you're about to do, you have to think to yourself, is this going to be a restorative activity or a depleting activity? Ladies, this is a game changer. Somebody taught this to me and it's unbelievable. It can be that having a friend over can be very restorative. You're laughing and joking, or having a friend over is very depleting because they are asking your advice on this and that, and then when they're telling you all their problems and they go home and you're just like, burdened by, so you have to know whether it's a restorative activity or a depleting activity. Now, there are many depleting activities that we have to do. Clean the fridge, or some people might find that restorative because the house is getting back in order. Oops, house is getting back in order. Okay. So you have to know yourself, and different things are different times, but having that distinction between depleting and restorative will help you to take better care of yourself and stop. And in other words, we don't give ourselves permission to exhale, take a minute, eat. How many people, you don't have to answer this because I don't want to embarrass anybody. How many people eat while they're doing 14 other things? They're eating lunch, like click, 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 yeah, okay. There you go. And there is a thing to just saying, this is okay. If you have so much to do that you can't spare a half an hour or an hour for lunch, take 10 minutes or take 15 minutes, but go away from what you're doing, or, catch up on an email. If that's restorative. Lunchtime should be restorative time. Breakfast, maybe not so much. Dinner, maybe not so much, but at least lunchtime, if you can find just a little bit of window, it'll give you strength. Okay, we'll go over some more tips after. Right now, I'm going to go to the next scenario. You guys ready? Ladies, ready? Anyone have any other scenarios?
No, nothing so far.
Okay, fine. Okay. You usually could bring in one or two, Sarita. I'm waiting.
I know, but actually, by the way, I have to say, these scenarios are amazing. They're like right on the money.
They're killer.
They're
killer. We have a very secret person who helps get these out. Okay.
Awesome. They're awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Things are flying around the house. This is the next scenario. Ready? Things are flying around the house, and your husband is the cause of it all. He woke up late and he proceeded to take a very long shower. Now, remember, this is a family show, so we have to be very careful with saying things that are modest and whatever, because this is about a husband who's taking the shower way too long. The children couldn't even get ready because your husband is still it was in this bathroom the whole morning. So the whole morning got completely wrecked by your husband taking a super long shower. They couldn't get in. Ladies, what do you do? Okay, go ahead, Julie.
Well, it's just a security lock. So I just pop that lock, send the kids in, and tell them to go get ready. And he's in the shower. If they need to freshen up, they can get in the shower too. I mean, I know it's built for one, but they fit in there. They're small.
Okay. All right. Who's next? Okay,
Well,
Jassy.
I used to do this to my sister when she took a long shower. I would flush the toilet and the water would become cold. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have soap in my hair. I'm like, sorry.
Okay. Ouch. Okay. Who's next?
I guess I would say, since we're really honoring self-care, especially with water, that from now on, starting the next morning, I'm going to take a really long, luxurious bath, and I'm going to use that lock, Julie, from the inside. And that's just going to be my time. I'm going to have my coffee, and I'm going to do my bath.
Okay, doke. Very good. Taylor.
Well, since he was supposed to be part of our travels that morning, and he seemed to want to make sure he was just clean enough for it, I just figured he could handle it on his own. So I would just leave, and then he could come out and handle the kids by himself for the whole rest of the day.
Okay. All right. Rachel, you're up. Judge Rachel.
Okay, all of them were so cute. I'm afraid to say the word Taylor now.
I love how you say it. We love it. Okay, go ahead.
I actually like Jocelyn, and I love to look at her face as she was saying it, that she had, that she did it already. And so it's tried and true. So if it works, we're going to go with flushing the toilet and having the water pressure affected. I like that.
Okay, very good. Sorry.
Yes, I have to say they were all really good. And I like Siggy's going into the bathroom the next day and having a bath. And oh my God, Siggy, I'm with you. I'm totally like going in there. I could just see all my kids though, like banging on the door the whole time. And it might not be so peaceful, but I love that one. And I loved all of them. And I love Taylor. I love them all, but I do have to say, I'm also going to go with Jocelyn. Jocelyn, by the way, if you do run the laundry and you run the hot on the laundry, it actually does the same thing, and it totally changes the water temperature. So you can also get in a load at the same time, so it's great.
2 for 1.
2 for 1. There you go. Okay, Ilana.
Oh wow, this was, I think, the closest of all of them. Like, was the biggest struggle for me to choose on this one. But I was one of 5 kids who has also tried the flushing the toilet trick, I would have to say that I'm going with Jocelyn.
Woo! Okay, Jocelyn, worst wife ever. That's very good. Okay, so here's the lesson on that one. Very good. The lesson on that one is there's timing, and then there's good timing, and then there's bad timing. And in the heat of the moment, there's nothing you can do. It's just a wash. It's a mess. And here's where self-mastery comes into play, where it's like, it is so obvious. The hardest thing in terms of connecting with another person is when you are 100% right and they are 100% wrong. Okay, that's the time when the club, right. Right. That's the time when it's the hardest to connect with somebody, is when you are 100% wrong, right? Because you could bash him, emotionally and physically, not physically, but emotionally. You could really rake the coals with a guy and really give him a hard time. And it's so hard to have that self-control and that strength to just exhale and just realize, okay, we'll deal with this another time. So bad timing would be to barge in, would be to flush the toilet, whatever, all these other things. That would be bad timing, because he's not going to learn the lesson. It's just going to cause distance in the relationship. It's just going to make you madder at him and him madder at you. And he'll have to defend himself and say why he's right. And he had a hard day the day before. And don't you understand him? And this is what he needed. I mean, you're going to go into a bad place. It's like, what's that? A downward spiral. Okay. So this is where self-mastery and control is going to come into play. Just zip your lip. And I would say this to a man too. You shouldn't tell women to put duct tape. I will tell men also, put duct tape. We, as a human race, why is it all folded and messed up? But anyway, okay, there's our duct tape. Duct tape we ought to get used to using duct tape more often. More people should use it more often, because when you're given time to think and to relax about it, you often can handle it. Not often, always handle it in a much better way than just raging at the guy. So what you do, leave it go. And then that night or the next day, or when you've sufficiently calmed down and he's sufficiently able to listen, you say, I want to talk about that morning, the other morning when you woke up late and then you took a shower. Put it in his lap. What do you think we could have done so that morning could have gone better? He's a human being. He's not going to say, oh, I can do whatever I want. He'll say, oh, I hear. Maybe I should have taken a shower the night before. Maybe, whatever it is, let him help you solve that problem. And then you've got a closeness there. Okay, clear. Okay, let's go to the next scenario. Okay. There are hard-boiled eggs in the refrigerator. And instead, your husband asks you to make him an omelet, even though you're clearly busy. So you're busy doing whatever, it's okay. But there's eggs already in the fridge, and he wants an omelet, and he wants you to drop what you're doing to make him an omelet. You are frenzied beyond belief. What do? Ladies, go. Dun, 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 dun. I can do this music. We should get a little thing that makes that music. Okay, Taylor.
I would go and pull out the little TV and bring it in and put on the Food Network and show him how he can do it himself, and just leave it. And also just, of course, leave the Post-it, remind him that cleaning up is part of,
part of the making.
Part of cooking.
Okay, fine. Very good. Taylor.
Siggy. I would take the hard-boiled eggs from the fridge, and I would smash them down so they look like an omelet, because there's many different forms of omelets, and this is my creation of a hard-boiled egg omelet. Bon appetit.
Okay, there you go. Bon appetit. Okay, good. Okay, Jossie.
So I would tell them, guess what? It's surprise Sunday. I made your omelet. And there is something in the omelet, and you're going to have to guess what it is.
But did you make it?
I made the omelet, but I put a secret ingredient inside, and he has to guess all day. And it's not a food-related item.
Oh, you mean so he has to eat
I'm going to make the omelet, and he's going to have to guess which secret ingredient I put in the omelet. And all day he's going to have to wonder, but it's going to be really fun.
Okay.
I'm sorry. She cannot stop until she tells us what that secret ingredient is.
What is the secret ingredient? What is it?
Oh, I am going to put little Cheerios inside the omelet. Yes, guess what that surprise, it could be honey nut Cheerios, regular Cheerios, peanut butter Cheerios.
And he can only eat the omelet after he guesses.
Exactly. He has to finish the omelet and then guess what's inside.
Okay.
I might have put marshmallows in. We don't know.
We don't know. He's got to get. Okay, fine. Julie, what's your worst wife ever?
Oh, I'm just gonna make it a la eggshell. So I'm just gonna throw it all into that omelet. It's eggs, it's shells, it's whatever parts of the egg. I waste not, want not. You know what I mean?
Okay, fine. Okay, Sarit, you're up.
Okay, so I was gonna go with Siggy, but I have to say that, oh my God, Julie, there's nothing worse than crunching on an eggshell as you're eating your omelet. Nothing. That has to be that's like scraping your nails on a chalkboard when you get that like piece and you're like, and you can't spit it out. Oh, the worst.
All of yours have been, I'm going to go with Siggy, and it's, I just feel like maybe I'm inspiring these other people. I'm just putting that out there.
Kind of like, you started with the like smush thing and with, playing with the egg, and that was where I was going. And then Julie took it to the next level by adding the shells also. So
she does have a point though. So Siggy,
yeah, I know, Siggy, you can't, you have to stop,
I'm not going to go first anymore.
First. You go last.
Okay. All right. Ilana, you're up.
I actually am going to go with Siggy. And the reason is that because the hard-boiled egg omelet makes it very obvious that you are just way too busy to be dealing with this. The eggshells, you can maybe say, okay, so some eggshell got in by mistake, blah, blah, blah. The hard-boiled egg makes a very clear statement.
Ilana, she's putting the entire eggshell in the omelet. There's no like, oops.
Oops. Oops. Okay, all right, Rachel, you're up. Judge Rachel.
I have to go with Julie because she is a very wise woman. In fact, she gave me the idea. I think I'm going to put eggshells in all the food and I'll never have to cook again, ever.
Okay, so for that one, so ooh, I got them all wet. It fell in my mug. So Julie won that one, right? I'm kind of confused here. Okay, Julie, worst wife ever. Okay, very good. Okay, so for that situation, there's a very simple thing. The word no. You could say sorry, no, or you could say maybe next time, no, but we never give ourselves permission to say no. And maybe we should, it depends on who you are. If you are always saying no, then okay, then maybe you need to handle this a little bit differently. But for most of us, we try, we're human beings. We try and please people. We're people pleasers or whatever. We want a close relationship. So if you ask your husband, can you please bring me some water? And he says no all the time. And can you do this? And he says no all the time. This is not very, very, you don't feel like you're doing for each other. This is all about giving to each other so that you can grow the relationship. If you're always saying no to your husband and he asks for this and you say no again, it's just kind of like one more thing. Maybe he'll stop asking so much, maybe he'll get that. No, but the bottom line here is you have permission as the wife. You don't have to do everything he says, but how you say no is all the difference. So when you are saying no, if you say it like, I'll just try, I'm too frenzied, whatever, that's fine. Okay, so this just for something like this, it's just a very simple answer. If you feel like it's causing resentment and he's annoyed that you didn't do it or whatever, maybe at another time say, listen, I did this and 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 this. When you piled one more thing on, it just made me feel overwhelmed and I felt like I was being taken advantage of or wasn't appreciated or felt like, there wasn't gratitude there, something, communicate your inner feelings to him. That's fine to do. At the moment, maybe not so much, maybe do it another time, but in the moment, it's fine to say no. Okay.
Okay, wait, so Leah on Instagram, Leah Luholm asked, why are we the ones who always start a sentence with sorry?
That's a good question. Yummy, yummy question. Why are we always the one to start with the word sorry? So here's the thing, because we are princesses. to say sorry and to be apologetic. There's nothing wrong with it. I know, in this society and in the greater world at large, we're supposed to be, all things to all people, and to, not say sorry. Saying sorry is a wonderful, warm way to be close to somebody. When your husband does something wrong, and, it's very hard for them to say sorry, but like if you said, how you said that was a little harsh. If you said, well, I know, like, right, then you're separating it apart. If you said, the way you said that was a little harsh, and he says, sorry, right? It's like it's gone. Your anger is gone. Your upset is gone. So it's a way to have more and more closeness. So even though we tend to be the ones to say sorry more, that says volumes about how awesome we are. Don't stop. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. In fact, if you can grow how often you say sorry, guess what? It sounds like, oh, you're just being a righteous, good person. No, but here's the thing. You will be closer to everybody around you. The more you say sorry, the closer you will be. This isn't a good theory. This is a try this at home, and you'll see, like, Leah, it's amazing. You'll text me or you'll email me a month from now and say, I started saying sorry every day to everybody. And I've never had so much love and support around me in my whole life as I do right now. So it's something to try this at home. Okay, good. Let's go to the next scenario. Okay. Okay, here you are, your husband came home finally, right? He's late. He didn't call, he didn't whatever. He walked in and he's talking onto his phone. He doesn't greet you or anyone. And then he later complains that the whole family didn't even bother to greet him. So he walks in the door, he's talking on the phone. He's not talking to anybody. What do you do? Okay, Julie.
Well, the kids and I arranged a surprise greeting for him in the middle of the night. So he can feel all the love and all of the welcome home. And I very quietly set my vibration alarm on my phone, and I go and I get the kids up, and they're tired and they're cranky, and we do the welcome home, Daddy, at like 2:30 in the morning. So he can feel how much he's welcomed home.
Okay, there you go. Okay, go ahead. You're on, Jocelyn.
Well, I love what Julie said. That was really very funny, but I'm going to notch it up a little bit. And not only are we not going to greet him in the middle of the night, we're going to show up to his work the next day dressed up in costumes. And we're going to give him such a surprise. Oh, Daddy, we can't wait to see you at work. And he'll be in like a conference meeting, and we're going to pop right in.
Okay, fine. Okay, who's next? Very good, Taylor.
I'm going to take the ignoring just like one step further, and we're going to sit down to dinner, and I'm going to feed everybody else and put a partition in the table from where he sits in like the dunce chair over on the side, and just pretend like he's not there for like the whole rest of the night until he has to ask why he's isolated.
Ouch. Okay, who's next?
I'm gonna go with a different approach. We all get cell phones, and we all get to use them whenever we want. And so I get to be on the phone talking really loudly to my friends when I walk in the door, at the dinner table, at all times. Kids can, if I don't want to give them a real phone, I can just give them a fake one, but they get to use it all the time. And we all kind of get a dose of Daddy's medicine.
Wow. Okay, that's called retribution. Okay, fine. Rachel, you are on.
Okay, I have to go. I have to go with Julie. Julie, the surprise greeting in the middle of the night. He'll never complain again. I love it.
All righty, fine. Okay, go ahead, Ilana.
I'm going to go with Taylor. I really like the ignoring him for the rest of the night.
Okay, Sarit.
So I have to say I'm gonna go with, it was a toss-up between Julie and Jocelyn, but I just feel like the Jocelyn one might take like too much. I have to pack the kids in the car and put on costumes and drive somewhere. I mean, just getting up in the middle of the night. And what I would do is, just to step it up, I would, have all the kids come, greet him in the bed, and then I would go sleep in their room while they sleep with him in the bed for the rest of the night.
Okay, so who won this one? That was
Julie.
Julie, that's right.
Julie,
okay, Julie, worst wife ever. That's good. Okay, so good. I'm gonna for this one. This is a big talk that has to be had. Excuse me, with the husband, because he has got to sit in his car, finish his conversation, stand at the front door before he comes in, whatever. He cannot walk in the door with he should not, hopefully, walk in the door with his phone. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to the family. It's not fair to you. So this has to be something that, same thing with you. You can't be like, talking even to your boss or something like that to walk in the door. I get it. You're frazzled. You've got the groceries. You need to put them down, whatever. But when you walk in the door, there is something about greeting. And this is not Leah Richeimer's, great idea. This is a 3,000-year-old tradition, a Jewish tradition, a bulletproof plan for how to have closeness in your relationships. And that is the greeting. There's something mystical and spiritual about that greeting process, both greeting and leaving, that needs your full attention. So if that means you're on a very urgent call and you have to get inside because you have something, you say, listen, I can't, talk for the next, I will call you back in 10 minutes or so. Don't try and keep your word. So if you 10 minutes, you have to call back in 10 minutes. If you say, or so, then it could be 8 minutes or 12 minutes. So, I need to call you back in about 10 minutes or so. I just need to greet my family when I walk in, and I will call you back once that's settled, or something, however you need to explain it. And again, it depends on who you're talking to and if they are your closies that you can share that with, or whether it's, a boss or someone. If it's your boss and whatever, just stay in the car, park up the street so your kids don't even see you at the window, and because that greeting period is spiritually very holy. And for your husband, if he's doing that and he's not greeting you or saying goodbye properly, then you need to say, I just learned this thing about how greeting, I'm going to work really hard on it. I know I have spent the last 20 years of our marriage not greeting you the way I'd like to be greeting you. I'm going to try work on it, but if you can work on it too, something like that. Have it be a project that you work on together. Very, very crucial to a connection and keeping that connection. And you should never leave the house without saying goodbye to everybody and bye, love you, see you, like that. It's very, that time is precious. Okay, I want to go through a couple of quick things before we get to the next scenario. Any questions? Good. I'm going to give a couple of more tips on frenzied. One, we talked about restorative and depleting to analyze what's going on. Having a schedule this is how to slow your life down to not being frenzied. Having a schedule for when you work and when you don't work. So a lot of people feel like, if they get a text from so-and-so, let's say you're trying to build a friendship with somebody, or you're trying to prove to somebody that, let's say you made a big mistake with somebody, your mother-in-law, you forgot to call her. Now you're trying to prove to her that you really do care. And she texts you feel like, I got to text right back, otherwise she'll feel like I don't care. I get it. But there has to be windows of time, whether that's dinner time, whether that's lunchtime, whether that's after 9 p.m. at night, or, yourself, to schedule times where people aren't going to be surprised that you don't answer them. So it could be you tell your mother-in-law, listen, I'm going to try and get back to you more, just so you know, when the kids get home from school at 4:00 till about 7:30 till they're in bed, or 9:30 or 10:30, whatever, it's very hard for me to reply. Please don't take it personally. Okay, so you just have to protect yourself and put bubbles around yourself, and you have to give yourself permission to do that. Learn relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness, meditation, things like that, to be able to slow your frenzied life. We all live frenzied lives, okay? But if you take a couple of, I'm going to give you like 10 things, just take 2 or 3 of them and start implementing them into your life, and you'll see there's just more relaxation available. Okay, exercise on a regular schedule. Hello, everybody says that, right? But one thing you can do, even if you talk to somebody on the phone every day, or you do have a podcast that you listen to every day, or something you do every day, try and tie that in with walking around the block or something. Try and get it in. Don't say, okay, I'm going to join a gym. I'm going to spend, I'm going to buy this exercise equipment for $1,000. None of that. Just simple. Start very simple, and that way you can actually keep it up. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. minutes, 20 minutes. It'll grow if you love it. Okay. Getting adequate sleep. Somebody says use an alarm to go to bed, not an alarm. These days we need an alarm to go to bed, not an alarm to wake up. Train your kids that there are certain times don't bother mommy. Okay. That's very, very crucial. Obviously if they're very little, they won't understand that. But for kids who are a little bit older, you can say, this is mommy time. Put a sign on your thing saying available at, one of those things like when you go into a store and it says, we'll be back at 10 o'clock, take care of yourself in this way. Delegate any tasks you possibly can. If you want to get a babysitter whenever you can, maybe you tell your husband, please get us a babysitter or something. Try and delegate, maybe not to your husband so much, but if you can find, you can call up a friend and say, listen, we're on a tight budget. I can't afford babysitter. Can I watch your kids on Tuesday nights and you watch mine on Wednesdays or something like that? Delegate some of the things that are making you frenzy. Train your kids that there are certain times you can't bother mom. Communicate with your husband about how frenzied you are and how he might recommend that you can ratchet down. Let's see. And the last one is to plan ahead with discussions with your husband. So if your husband knows that you are, that homework time is crazy for you, plan in advance ways to solve it. Have good communication to plan in advance. If at the time you're crazed, you're making dinner, you're doing homework, you're answering the phone, you're answering the texts, you're whatever, and your husband walks in and he's sitting on the couch, reviewing his emails or playing a video game or whatever, plan ahead. And if you at that point come and plop a kid in his lap, or you say, hand him the spatula and say, can you flip the burgers or whatever it is, not so good. If in advance you say, listen, this is a crazy time, what can we do about it? That's going to be your best way to get the most help. Okay, let's go on to the last couple of scenarios. Let's see. Oh yeah, we've got 2 more scenarios. Okay. You asked your husband, you guys ready? Got your shakers ready? Okay. You asked your husband to change the light bulb and fix a loose screw in the kitchen cupboard. But he now expects you to drop everything, find him a light bulb, find him a screw, and find him a screwdriver. Okay. So it's like, thank you. I could have done this myself. Ladies, what do you do? Go ahead, Siggy.
So when I'm preparing dinner that night, I'm happy to make it for the whole family. But can he please get me the pan, the oil, the beef? If you can go to the freezer, can you pull out the vegetables? And then there's some spices in that spice rack, and you can see the picture. I'm gonna do the exact same thing, obviously, like 20-fold.
Okay, fantastic, great. Who's next? Siggy. Oh, Taylor.
Okay. I am just suddenly going to come down with amnesia, and I don't know at all like what those things are, but thank God, like my big strong man knows what they are, so he can do it on his own. But like, I'm just like, the amnesia just like, it's very specific for only things that I ask him to do. It's its own wife phobia.
There you go. Okay, fine, Julie.
I tell him, don't even worry about it. I hired a very expensive handy person to come in the following day. They're only like $90 an hour, and they're going to tackle the light, and they're going to fix the loose screw. And they quoted me, they said it's probably going to take 2 hours. So I said, don't even worry about it. Sit down, enjoy yourself. We're going to spend $200 to get this fixed.
Ouch, ouch. Okay, fine. Okay, you are up, Jocelyn.
Well, I'm going to tell him that I'm going to be cleaning out my makeup drawer. If he could please organize my blush brushes, eyeshadow brushes, and powder brushes, and make them sure that they're all labeled, and have a lot of good fun while I'm going to look for the flashlight.
Okay, very good. Okay, Rachel, you're up first.
Okay, they were all terrific. Siggy melted my heart. That it's all mida keneged mida. He's got to do. He just has to do to her what he asked her to do for him. So I like that. So Siggy gets my vote.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, Sarit.
Well, yeah, they were all so good. I have to say, I also have to go with Siggy on this one. Wow, and she wasn't even like then, but yeah, I definitely connected with Siggy's.
Okay, fine. Okay, Alana.
It's unanimous. They were all so great, but I agree. Siggy's was the one that really hit it.
Worst
Right.
wife ever. And I realize we're out of time. We can't do the last one, but anyway, it's kind of duplicated another one. Okay, so fine. Okay, so Siggy got that one. Alana, you do your calculating who won the overall show while I give over what happens. Your husband wants you to change a light bulb and the screwdriver and whatever. And for a situation like that, you can just go to him and say, like put on the pout. We all know how to put the pout on and say, do you mind just doing it? It makes me feel like I don't, if I were to go find the flat and do all that stuff, I could have done it myself. Please, it just let him feel sorry for you. Okay. It's okay. Pout and just come to him and he'll get it. He'll get it. Okay. Very good. Okay. Any questions before we go to the drum roll of who won the show? Okay. Yeah. You guys were fantastic. Really. Each one of you, all of the things, all of the above, really, really outstanding today. Very cute and funny and awesome. Okay. Ilana, who won the most votes?
Okay. So we have Siggy has 1, Jocelyn and Taylor each have 2, and Julie has 3.
3. Julie, the worst wife ever. Worst wife ever. Okay. Woo-hoo! Okay, she won. Okay, why don't you guys say your names again? You guys were awesome. Go ahead, start. Julie, why don't you start?
I'm Julie, man. I'm a terrible wife.
Yay! Taylor.
Hello. You got it. Pretty good wife.
There you go.
Jocelyn Miller in second place for worst wife.
Okay, you guys were fantastic. You did a beautiful job. I hope everybody learned a lot about how to, when you're too frenzied, and how to handle it with your husband. This is Leah Richeimer for the Ladies Talk Show, and we'll see you guys next time. The worst wife ever. See you. Thank you, guys. Here's the thing, ladies. If you don't subscribe, you may miss out and you're going to miss some great content. So you need to either like us or follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, on Torah Anytime, on YouTube, or go right to our website, www.ladiestalkshow.com, and fill in a subscription button. And then you'll get every week an update on exactly what's happening. And if you do that, oh, by the way, if you subscribe on our website, you also get 10 tips to have a great relationship. Don't miss it. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot.